So I made it back out, went down and picked up that stove. I think Molly likes it, and I think we're gonna maybe end up using it in the little house. We'll see, but at least we're back out here, and I did end up getting the parts in for the throttle shafts. I ended up going to these guys, California Corvair parts, just because they had everything I needed. So I got the new throttle shafts and a couple other things. And then I got the two of the butterflies. I put one in. Well, this was the first one I messed up. And I went ahead and slid the new one in. There's the other butterfly. That one's in better shape. I think I might try to end up using the other one that I pulled out, because the one that they sent me is pretty rusty. I couldn't get it to slide through here. So this goes in really easy. And so I guess my fear is that gas is going to leak out. All I can do is try, and then I'll put it all back together. If it leaks, I'll probably have to pull it all apart again and put in, I think I saw it on Clark's Corvairs, a seal kit, or like a Teflon seal kit or something, or Viton or something, that will allow this to seal. But we'll see how it goes. This thing is so twisted in there, I'm afraid to try to press it out because I don't want to mess up the holes. It's very soft because it's brass. I'm kind of trying to cut through it. Not that I want a bunch of metal shavings in my bore, but I don't know what else to do. Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Don't know. I'll try to press that out. That was easy. I don't think I'm going to do the other ones, but I wanted to get into that one. It's the bottom of the accelerator pump. Oh, is that for the jet? I should probably do that one too. I really hate taking these plugs out, but I think I should do this one because it's down below the main jet. The other thing I like to do is try to run a wire. So I got that wire all the way through, so that's pretty good. Now I'm pretty comfortable putting it all back together. Alright, now the fun part. Trying to remember where everything goes. It's a nice thing about making these videos. I would have never videoed them in the old days. I would have just tried to figure out where everything went, and then I wouldn't have been able to remember, and then I would have just bought a new carburetor. Probably a Holly. All my parts. I do still have to get this off of there. I think I'm gonna have to grind this. I think it's brazed on. It goes this way. Feels pretty tight. I like the way that feels, actually. I'm gonna go boil some water so I can see if these guys float okay in hot water. Someone told me hot water, I don't remember why now, but... And if these don't float, I'm gonna have to remember how to braise, I guess. Because I think you can braise them and make them float again. There's all this gooey stuff on here. I don't know if that's ethanol or what it is. They're gooey. Look at that stuff. That might have been a braise. Might have been a hole there. Probably shouldn't have messed with that, huh? Got a lot of parts. It actually doesn't fit on there all that great. Kind of sloppy fit. Guess it's good enough though. That's gonna work. I don't see a check ball in there. I thought there should be a check ball. That might not be good. Maybe the check ball goes under the accelerator pump. I don't know what this little guy's for. I don't think I need it. Must be for the other carburetor, other style. I hope. Yay. goes. This is the one I took off. I kind of scratched it a little bit. Not bad. I think it's okay. I think this carburetor's a little worse off, so I don't want to scar this up, so I can't even get that out. That sure came off a lot nicer. I guess there's a little ball down in there. Well, that's kind of what I do for the tear down and cleaning. Now, we'll put it back together. This sure cleaned up nice. Man, I was worried about it. I was really worried about it because this shaft was not, it was kind of locked up, so I'm happy about that. The problem I had with the last one was my choke linkage. And I don't think I have it right yet, because it's just not, I feel like it's not doing the, when you get in the car and you push the gas pedal all the way to the floor, it should go to full choke. And the linkage should make it do that, and it's not really doing that. So when I get to it with this one, I hope I have an aha moment. That's when I go, aha. This is for a Rochester H and HV. This, my carburetor is an HV. So I need this one. Then needle and seat. Actually, I'm just going to do it on here. Okay, needle and seat, or seat and needle, depending on which side of the equator you're on. They give you this little spring, and I have no idea what it's for, but hey, free spring. Well, it wasn't free, but put that gasket on there. Need a big fat screwdriver, wide I mean. As far as I can tell, just drop it in. They said it's got this, I guess, Teflon seat or whatever coating, and be easy on that. And then I'm going to go heat up some water to test this. I guess you could put these on backwards. I didn't adjust them, but they give you this scale and they give you directions on what to do. But I always just kind of take my chances, because I have set them before and then I had to go back and change it. I don't know why, but so I just like to put it together and see how it does. And you can always take the top of it off and tweak it if you need. That's what I do. Not that you should ever do what I do. This is what I did for the last carburetor. I put everything I didn't use in here. Put the old needle and seat and gasket. I need that. And this guy, a little teeny hole up on top of here. Kind of go upside down, put it in the hole, hold on to it. See if there's an easier way it goes. It seems easier that way for some reason, so I'm going to go in through the float bracket, through the spring, and then out the other side, hopefully. Oops. I don't want that much force on it. Not a whole lot of travel on it. You know, I need to do some cleaning up inside of there now. There's a lot of the old accelerator pump stuff is in there, so I got to do a little more work on this. Glad that spring came out, because now I can see the nastiness that's down inside of here. I'm going to have to pull this back out too, because I'm going to have to clean it back out this way because there's so much gunk in there. It's just kind of the old accelerator pump. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So, what was I working on? A little bit hard to get to come through the hole, but you just gotta be patient, and I kind of use my fingernail to coax it through. And then hopefully it holds. buy a whole bag full of these plugs for like 50 bucks, but man, I don't really have 50 bucks right now. It's the old accelerator pump. This thing, we need to reuse this spring, and that retainer, once you take tension off, it just kind of goes down a little bit under the collar and it'll come off. Just kind of unscrew it. So I decided to leave the jet in there because I couldn't get it out, and I didn't want this to end with that. And then put her back on under the collar. Try to pinch your finger in there if you can, just because it's kind of fun. So they say to put a couple drops of oil in there, and I was just using this 3-in-1 oil. And then there's also the other spring. Where's the other spring? So you drop that into the accelerator pump hole, and then a couple little drops of this. Twist it in. Okay. Okay, that's beautiful. So this little guy goes down in here. Then this doodad. The way it was in there was the flat goes to the back, but I kind of turn it so it doesn't impinge on that hole. I'm not sure how it's actually supposed to go in. Okay, and then you just kind of, it's got a lock washer on it. And then this guy, I think they call it a check weight. This I think replaces the ball, check ball. I don't know, but it goes in that hole. And I think with that, we're ready to put the top back on. Let me see if I have any other random parts. Now we can put her back together. So then I'm just going to put a couple screws in here to hold it together while I do the rest. Still got to do the throttle shaft and all that. So we're going to go right in there like that. Okay, goes in there. There's a little slot in here that lines up with your air fuel mixture screw. And so I think that this plate has this little hole in it for that. So that's how I put it in. And then it's got these little tabs, which I'm sure have significance if I knew what I was doing. This was actually the other one they sent me. I don't remember. I don't think it's supposed to be flat like that. Maybe it is. We're going to use it. We're not going to complain about it. Oh yeah, okay. That looks pretty good. Give it a nice little snug up. Okay. Okay. And this guy goes that way. Starting to look like something. Take it all the way down. Come back 1.5 for now. think I'm going to turn that around because that seems weird to me. Okay, I want to point down more. Let's see. Click. Okay. Okay. This one does seem like it's fitting better for some reason. So I'm going to call it a night. Molly has gone to bed in the camper. Lights are out. And I don't want to run the grinder. And then I'm not going to be able to try to start the car tonight anyways. So tomorrow we will continue. Good morning. It's a beautiful day. It's supposed to be low 80s today, which it's going to be a beautiful morning and a beautiful evening, but it's going to be a little bit too hot, probably at the peak of the day, but I'm not going to complain. So I'm going to grind this bracket off. This one's going to work better. The other one didn't. Something's wrong with that other carburetor. This one looks right. You see the throttle, the idle screw, whatever, is actually touching there, which you want. This is kind of hitting this, and it lifts that up. See that? Lifts this little rubber thing up. Let's see how the choke linkage goes on now. That's going to look a lot better. There's a little tab on top of the carburetor, and then you just put this hole on that tab and then kind of work your linkage over in. These are the long screws. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but I don't know how to do these clips, so I just kind of pinch them at the bottom. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know what kind of clip that is. They sure like them on these carburetors. Okay. So this comes up from the choke coil through the engine cover. This side, a little tricky. Well, it's not tricky, I just can never remember exactly how it goes. It goes like this, like this. I think that's a little tweaked, but I'm going to leave it for now. Okay, and I got a little teeny screw for that. I guess get that on there. Get a little plastic piece on. Put this guy on. And then put the screw in. Like any of this is going to work. Yeah. I don't know what I did wrong on the other one. I got to go pull it apart. I think, so this butterfly actually has flat spots on the side. So this is probably the right plate. Maybe the other one's not the right plate that I put in. She's actually ready to put on the car. I think I'll put these plates on, heat shields or whatever, because I do think that they are important. The carb rebuild kit just comes with, they just give you dual gaskets. See these here. So you want those. We'll try these. And I need to find a plug for that. I'm not sure what that's for now. This is the choke guy that goes into here. Let's leave that out for now. It's kind of hard to get to this inside nut, but I've got one of these. First time I've ever used one of these wobblers. So this one, it comes up and stops. I feel like this plate's just not going to work. So we'll try this one. I'm going to have to clean it up quite a bit though. Thought they were tapered, like on the edge, but I guess it is a little bit. Yeah, I guess it is. It's angled a little bit. I mean, maybe whoever rebuilt this before put this plate in there and it was not the right plate. It is kind of flat. Oh, it's flat on the sides. Sure seems right. Cleaned up, I guess. Got these little tabs on there. Seems right. Oh, there it goes. It feels pretty good. It does feel better already. I don't know why, but I have a hard time focusing with the pigeons making their sounds. Don't know why. So now it pulls that rubber thing open here. And I'm going to be able to get, so I don't know, that other throttle, that other plate was just not fitting in there good. Now that touches. And then it's also got this like ratcheting thing up here that hits. Let me undo that a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go, see? I think it just kind of ratchets the choke open. I don't know how it all works, honestly, but... And that's it. So let's go put this back on, and then we'll try to start her up. Now I gotta find my nuts. This probably goes to that. Well, time to see if she'll start. And then we'll start trying to figure out the fuel pump. Boy, am I getting ahead of myself. try to find the fuel pump. I don't know where it is. I imagine. Oh, it's right here. Not sure how to get on that fuel pump. I'm not going to cut it. I am not going to cut it. Just kind of got a little jockey tank going, hoping that the fuel pump works, but let's see. Will she run? Fuel pump works. Guess I wasn't confident that it was going to run. That was the longest it's ever run, and probably this car is 60 years old. Made a mess. So I cleaned my engine bay. So I snapped the belt off on the last run, so I need to change the belt. But I did get all the linkages hooked back up, with the exception of the main throttle going to that bar. You got to figure out what that clip looks like, and then I have all the linkage hooked up. I even went ahead and put the choke back on. Let's see, it's kind of, maybe it's working. I stuck a hose down in the gas tank, and the gas tank appears to be empty, but there seems to be some grit in there. So I'm up here cleaning the front out, trunk, and not sure what that is. Goes to a washing machine, it says Maytag on it. I don't know if these belts are any good. I'll use it, maybe it'll last a little while. I got 2 belts. And then spark plug wires, wiper blade. It's kind of neat seeing all this old stuff. I was trying to figure out what this was. I think it's kind of like, I think this label came off of there, but I'm not even sure about that. It's like a old can of Fix-A-Flat. So that's all that was inside the front. And then 2 huge mice nests that I cleaned out, and now I'm going to give it a little vacuum. It's better, a little rusty, but I think it's still pretty solid. It's the original color, I think, of the car. Really pretty. Actually, brake fluid in there. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use this belt I found in the trunk. Should be back up and running. Pretty good. Good morning. Let the car sit overnight and wanted to see if we could get her to start up this morning. Start dialing it in. I'm going to try to balance the carburetors out. I got to figure out how to do that. And just kind of dial it in. But I'm happy that it's idling on its own. So now that the Corvair is kind of running, well, it's running, I want to put it into gear and see if it'll move. But before I do that, I think the smart thing to do would be to get the brakes working. So I'm going to pull these wheels off. I'm going to check the rear brakes out, see what I got going on. And I looked in here last night and it doesn't really look great. At least it's still wet, I guess. I didn't want to add fluid to it, but I think I'll add a little bit, try to clean it out, and then add some more fluid. Maybe we'll get lucky. Can't say I've ever seen these little things before. So I was able to get in here and turn that little screw, whatever you call that, pad adjustment screw, and I think it's going to come off now. Oh yeah. So I'd say pads are very thin, but they don't look too bad. They should work. But for now, I'm going to try to bleed the brakes a little bit. Let's go take a look at the other side. The U-joints actually feel pretty tight, but I'm sure they're ready for replacement too. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning out the interior on this thing. And then I want to start it up and see if it'll go into gear. steering wheel is kind of perfect, actually. These seats, I don't know. Bummed that the original seats aren't in here, and these are electric, but I doubt they are electric. There's the back. So there's like this, I don't know if it's just sound dampening or what it is, but it's got this layer beneath the headliner that is now completely destroyed from the mice. But it probably was not all that great anyways. I should go ahead and just take this headliner out, honestly. Pretty happy with the way it went with the carburetor's rebuilds. She seems to be starting up on her own and idling, and I gotta definitely dial it in, and I gotta balance the carburetors. I gotta look at that process. Tempted to buy a camera to look inside the gas tank. I was looking at dropping the gas tank out and cleaning it. I really don't want to just put gas in there and run it, but if I could put a camera in there and get some confidence that it's semi-clean, I might do that. It probably needs to be flushed, so I probably will be pulling that out. But for now, I'm running on this guy. I don't know if the alternator is charging. I could check that here in a second. I've got the brake drums off. I got the front pretty nice and cleaned out. I put some brake fluid in the master cylinder, hoping that it'll kind of break stuff up, and then I'm going to clean it all out before I start trying to bleed the brakes. And I spent a lot of time cleaning out the interior, and I think it looks horrible, but better. It's gonna need a new dash. I pried that glove box open. I'm hoping I can fix it once I find a key once I get in that glove box. Maybe some surprises in there. Maybe the keys to the car are in there. I haven't been able to get into it yet. These seats kind of had some black mold or something on them that was just horrible looking. Carpet back here looks a little better, but I'm going to replace all the carpet. The interior, the vinyl looked pretty good. I did something kind of stupid. You can see those scratches over there. And then on this side, I got back here and I pulled the seat forward, and when I did that, the panels were bowed out and it ripped the panels. I don't feel too bad. I do think the panels need to be replaced. I think all the interior needs to be replaced. So, and then I started cutting out the headliner because, like in my Buick, I'm just sick of trying to drive these cars around with the headliner hanging down and all the crap that's in them. So I don't think you can save those old headliners. So I'm not too upset about it. I'm not sure what's going on with this mirror, but it's kind of interesting. When I pulled this stuff off, all this rust came out. You probably can't see in there, but just rust came pouring out. I guess it's just scale rust from the roof. I mean, it's not too bad. It could be worse. I definitely have cars that are much worse. I do feel like the metal on this car is in good shape. I haven't really been under it too much, but I haven't seen a lot of rust on it yet. Also cleaned the glass. So what I'd like to do before I let you all go is we go inside the car and we'll try to start it. And I'm going to try to put it in gear. Since it's up in the air, it should be okay. I'm going to give it one pump. That's idling. Look at that. Just like the bug. So let's I mean, I haven't even pushed the clutch pedal in yet, but let's see if there's a Runs pretty good. Heck yeah. Well, thank you guys for following along so far. We'll see if we can get this thing out on the road next trip out. See you guys. Rain has turned to snow. Well, it turned to hail, turned to snow, and it got really, really cold. So let's see if we can get this old girl to start up when it's cold and idle. That would be really something. So I didn't film any of that.